Right, what have we got here? It's tiny, but I think you're going to find I'm going to give it a good rating. So today we have the ThruNite, and it's the Ti3. So it's a tiny little thing, and straight off I'm going to show you the battery type. It's a traditional AAA. So there's the AAA, and the particular one I'm using an end loop. I personally find these extremely reliable. I've never had a bad end loop unless you get a copy one. So it's your standard configuration. There's your spring at the bottom there. So AAA, it's not a one of these ones where you've got to go out and buy another type of battery. So there it is there, pretty small. Now let's get a size comparison. So what have I got knocking about? There's the Thorfire and the A6, BLF A6 there. And then I've got the larger ThruNite, which is the TN4. So as you can see, it's tiny. Really, its purpose, I would suggest, is for a key ring. I mean, it comes with a small split ring anyway, but that's its suggested sort of use. And as you can see, this is my personal one. I bought this, and the knurling is still on there. However, you can see it's pretty beat up. You know, the paint's come off, or as they like to call it, anodized aluminium. So the paint's come off, but it's never really let me down. There's a few drawbacks which I will talk about, however. So let's get this rubbish out of the way and let's concentrate on this one. Right, so what you're getting here is the Ti3 running on a AAA. Now this only comes in 2 configurations, unlike a lot of the other ones where you can get about 3. So the configurations refer to the tint. That's it. That is the output colour. So you only get neutral white or cool white. Now the only real difference is cool white looks white, as you would think, and the neutral white has a bit more yellow mixed in, so it tends to look more natural. As in, if you've ever noticed, sunlight isn't exactly white, is it? You know, it's not like an artificial light. So I would personally go for the neutral. Now on this one I actually went for the cool white because it was cheaper. So even though my personal preference is always neutral, I wasn't willing to pay more. Now it's running on a Cree, so they're decent LEDs. Now off the top of my head, I think it's the XP-G2 R5. I will check that though, so if I've got that wrong, I'll put something on the screen. And as you can see, the reflector, now when I say reflector, I'm talking about the silver interior there, which reflects the light out. That is an orange peel configuration, so you can see it's got a texture, so you get a nice even throw there. And there's the LED. So genuine Cree in that, which is nice to see. And it's supposed to, like a lot of the ThruNites and a lot of the torches, it's supposed to have ultra clear glass. Well, I mean, you know, glass is glass. There's not a lot of difference. You're not going to get many more lumens from the glass, but it does help. But this has never let me down. And made from aluminium, orange peel reflector there. Now the maximum lumens on high you can get from this is 120. Now I think that's pretty decent, and I'll tell you why. If you look at something like the tiny O-lights or the small Astrolux, even the O-light, on certain models of the small ones like this, you're only going to get 80 lumens to 100. I think it's 80 to 102 on the O-lights, depending on whether you get the silver one or the coloured one. So this is pretty high. 120 is pretty good, but obviously bear in mind the higher the lumen, the shorter the battery time. But that's a good output for a AAA, and I'm impressed to see that from such a small device. So we'll go through the different modes. Now this one only has, it's got 3 main modes and a secret one. So I'll show you the main ones. So it's a twist function, this one, so you twist it on, and that's your moonlight setting. Now I call it moonlight. I think in the literature for ThruNite, they call it a Firefly. Now the whole point of that is you can read, check your watch, you know, and do your bits and pieces. People can't see a load of light and you're not wasting the battery. That's the whole point of that. And the benefit of using a Firefly mode is, I think on this particular one, it's only putting out half a lumen, so it'll last 115 hours. So that's pretty damn impressive. But as you can see, not very bright. It's enough. It's enough for having a look at little bits and pieces. And then you've got your low setting, so off, back on. So That's your low setting, which is I think 12 lumens, and then you go straight to high, which ramps it straight up. I mean, you can see that's over, you know, that's 120. So that's, you know, that's too bright for close-up stuff, but obviously if you're out and about, it's pretty decent. I mean, you can see, you know, I'm almost able to saturate the camera lens there. So very bright for a small little device like this. It doesn't really put out much heat, and I can't really feel anything. A tiny little bit, it's a little bit warm, but it's not enough. So we'll turn that off. So they're your main modes. Now to get to the secret mode, you've got to cycle all the main modes and then cycle them again. So for example, we'll go Moonlight, or Firefly as they call it. So we'll start again. So it'll be Firefly, low, high, Firefly, low, high. And I didn't do it. I need to do it a bit quicker. Oh. And there you go. Boom, there you go. Right, so 6 cycles really takes you to, I mean, a lot of manufacturers will call it a tactical strobe. I mean, how tactical is that when you think about it? If you've got that in your hand and someone's about to attack you, you're hardly going to go, right, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right, now you can attack me. It's not very tactical, really, is it? That, you know, I think they're trying to sell an idea there rather than a feature, but it's there if you need it. Now, that's going to last longer, the strobe anyway. I think on high, it only lasts half an hour. So strobe doubles that because it's on, off, so you get an hour. And the low, the 12 lumens, you get 6.5 hours. 6.5 hours isn't bad, you know, because look, that's low. I could do anything with that. That's more than you need for close-up work, and you're going to get about 6 hours out of that. So that's pretty good. And then you know, straight to maximum. You're only going to get half an hour, but that's going to give you your maximum throw. So nice little device. Now, pros and cons. Pros are it's bulletproof. Now I don't mean that literally, but never had a problem. Rock solid. Doesn't really rattle. Feels solid. Works nicely. Bright for the size of the cell. What I don't like is it's a twist on and off. So there's on. So in order to turn it off, you're having to twist it into a position where if you jiggle around too much, and I've done this before, if you leave it off too much, what happens is it can fall away in your pocket. I've had this happen where it's worked its way free. So my advice is what you do, turn it on and then just enough off and then check by. Now you see how that's turned itself on? So take it just past that point. There, now it can't turn on even if there's an impact. If you loosen it off too much, there's a chance it's going to collapse. Now I've had that happen 2 times in all the time I've owned it, but now I know how to do that. That's not a problem. So ThruNite Ti3, highly recommended, decent price. It's no worse than any of the other small AAA configurations. Nice output. For what it is, bearing in mind I don't like the twist action, but that keeps it smaller. It means you haven't got buttons and stuff, and it's less to go wrong. I would give it an 8. I think that's a pretty decent score. I can't really fault it other than I don't like that mechanism. So there you go. So thumbs up, and I'm giving that one an 8. So let's go and have a shot outside. One more thing before I forget. You get with it a little clip. So if you prefer, you can have a little pocket clip on there. So that's handy. And it's reversible as well, so you can take it off and pop it on this way. So the benefit of that is you can put that on the peak of your cap. I tend to put it on like that, so there's the peak of the cap there, and then where you look, the torch looks. So spot on. And one thing I forgot to mention is waterproof, so water, not a problem.